I think people now, I know for me when I given up meat, whatever, it wasn't, I saw that documentary, What the Health. I'm not an animal lover as it is, but it put me off me. It did put me off me. But I think it's about, as you said, it's more about thinking health reasons.
Yeah,
definitely. People becoming aware of what they're eating and where their food's coming from.
I think
it's it's like a mass awareness, and so there's like a movement at the moment. I wouldn't even say strictly vegetarian or vegan, because as you said, there's all these different sections.
Flexitarians,
Pescatarian.
Exactly.
But I think years ago, when if I think back to like when you think of your traditional vegetarian person, before I knew about vegans, it was someone that that generally I'm saying they don't care, like they cared about. What you saying, like with the food from like the animals they had. I think it was more about cruelty to animals. But I think But I think people now, I know for me when I given up meat, whatever, it wasn't. I saw that documentary, What the Health. I'm not an animal lover as it is, but it put me off me. It did put me off me. But I think it's about, as you said, it's more about thinking health reasons.
Definitely. And I think as well, there's probably been additives to our foods for many, many years, but we're only now becoming more aware of it, or the side effects of these various foods. I mean, at school, there was always the child that couldn't have this particular thing. But
it was only one child though.
Or the ease, we were always aware of, if your child have too much sugar, they're gone crazy. It's not even necessarily the sugar, but it's all these additives, all these E numbers, and it goes far beyond that as well. So where you're having genetically modified foods, I think people are much more aware of that. So, as you said, Ver, where back in the day, a vegetarian was all about, they don't want cruelty to animals. Now it's a much wider range of reasons why people are, reducing the amount of meat and
products
that they're eating.
And plus also people who suffer from allergies. I mean, recently we've heard of people, unfortunately, sadly, dying of allergies. But because people are much more prone to have allergies now, to me it's more common people having allergies now than ever before.
20, 30 years
I mean, obviously we are aware of the nut allergy and so forth, but even more so people are more conscious about what they're eating because of these allergies. For me, as I said, I watch What the Health.
It was last year. It was last year's
last year, July.
Oh, okay. I watched it in September.
So, since then, I mean, I was going off meat, and that just done it for me. I just thought that isn't doing any good for my body, and I've gone off it since. And it's like I won't touch it. I don't kind of like feel sick when I look at meat or anything like that. I don't have a problem with other people eating it around me, but I just don't think it's good for me, and I just feel so much better not eating it. So I've stuck to it. Now I think when I first went on the journey, I was like a vegetarian side, but I think I was more so say that I'm more of a pescatarian because I'm eating fish as well as plant-based foods.
But I was gonna say, I mean, with the meat, obviously you put us all onto what the health, and I think that is a good. It's something that people should be aware of. But then I just wanted to add that meat is not just bad because it's meat, as in we shouldn't be eating flesh. I think meat is more so bad these days because of how they're processing it. And it even goes for fish. It's like You kind of think, come off the meat, fish is better.
Yep.
But even how they're farming the fish,
You've got
it's
to
like
source,
now,
you've got to source the best.
and so I think it's more about, if you had grass-fed cows and stuff like that, the meat's going to be a lot better than this corn-fed cows and
it's the
what they're
quality,
using
of
to feed the animals, and then we're obviously eating the animals as well. So I think that although it did put me off, and what it made me realise was that they're literally trying to kill us with the meat. I mean, literally trying to kill us with the meat.
But then saying that, it's not just meat, because even like people it's like vegans who don't have like dairy products and cut out milk, cheese and all sorts. Even with like cheese and stuff like that, you have to be careful. I mean, it's like you might have seen videos going around, like a woman bought these sliced cheeses that she normally makes for her son, like within sandwiches, and she decided to make herself a toasty sandwich, but she thought she'd put it under the grill. And the cheese wasn't melted. So she thinking to herself, why isn't this cheese melted? So she even took her packet out and she got a lighter and she's lighting it. The cheese was just burning, but it wasn't melting. And it's like it went shiny, like it was plastic.
Yeah, but all those processed stuff.
So you have to be so careful.
Yeah, that is the critical thing. It's the processed foods.
Yeah.
Because we've all been on a similar journey this last 12 months, and I myself cut out the meat because of health conditions, and not because I didn't like the taste of it, not because even though I watched What the Health, the reason why I first thought, okay, I need to cut out with the meat was because of health conditions rather than how it's produced or all the additives and that they're giving to the animals. But when I learned about it afterwards, it was like, oh my God, this is what we're really eating, But I like meat. That's the bottom line. I do like meat, even though I know that it can harm your body. But the critical thing again is, as Angie said, is if you're eating meat that is farmed and reared properly, it doesn't have that effect. Or it was Cleo. It doesn't. It's not going to have that adverse effect on you. And I watched a lot of documentaries when I was going through my health thing, and one of the main things that I realized is that most of the people that have the longest lives are the people that are plant-based people. And when I say plant-based, that doesn't necessarily mean they don't eat meat, but they eat meat on fewer occasions.
Minimal.
So and I think that's the way I'm going to look at things, and that when I do eat meat or chicken or any animal source, is to make sure that it's the best that I can source.
Of course.
And I think that makes
and that's the thing, when you give up meat, like I know for me, I gave up in September last year. Dabbled in it in August. I've had meat since. I've given it up again just for November. I say just for November, but I never ever said that I would never eat meat again.
Yeah.
And I know it's not good for us, especially as diabetics. They say that you can get protein from other places, and we know it's not good for us. But I do like it. I like steak. I like the taste of steak. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like it, because I like it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. And then another thing with this vegan, flexitarian, all these things, like when you think of like these mock meats, so you have the steaks that taste like meat. They're processed. These things they're not the best.
And even like the corn and
they're
all processed again.
I'm not a fan
So
of
I think
stuff.
it's, and then when you look at even vegetables in themselves, with how they're saying that the amount of pesticides and stuff they're putting on them.
You have to source. Farmers market, you have to source.
So I think that food has just become try and get the best of whatever it is that you like eating, as opposed to just like meat's bad for you. Or,
and this is it, because whichever food source it is, the people that are producing it, it's a commercial thing for them. It's not about
mass production.
I mean, there's going to be a handful of people out there that are trying to, bring us healthy food, but the majority of them, it's a commercial thing. So obviously, if they can give little chicks a pill that's going to make them full size in 6 weeks, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Then that's what they're going to do. And we don't know any different because we've grown up on that kind of chicken. Now, if you let a chicken go out there and live its life until its maturity,
It's
the
longer than
chicken
6 weeks.
is much longer than 6 weeks. It tastes completely different. The bone is hard. It's not soft. But we've been conditioned to eat those kind of foods. So for us, it's normal.
But have you noticed as well that anything that's really good and healthy, the really good and healthy sources are the most expensive.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, organic stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's more expensive.
However,
though, remember we had said when, I know you were talking about the farmer's market,
yeah.
and a lot of people, when I've spoken to them, they're like, oh, but it's so, and it isn't that expensive.
It
It isn't.
No.
It's not
It
expensive.
isn't.
And
Cost of
I
stuff in the
think
supermarket
when you
as
use a farmer's market, you tend to go more often. Whereas when you go to the supermarket, you buy something and it might sit in the fridge for 2 weeks, but it's no longer fresh, but it may appear to be fresh.
Well,
True.
you say, okay, we talk about that. I know I said about carrots that years ago. This is what I remember as a child.
Yeah.
You had carrots. Carrots lasted, I'm sure, a month.
It was.
And now I've bought carrots, and I'm not talking about from one particular supermarket. Like say 3 different supermarkets. And they rot in the fridge. Carrots are rotting in the fridge. Now, you got to think to yourself, what is going on if carrots are rotting
in the fridge?
And I remember it's like we
used to
didn't
have
even
the vegetable.
that's it.
The
And we just put
vegetable
carrots in the
rack.
fridge.
Right.
Yes, like your potatoes, your onions,
They're
the
kept
carrots.
in the dark, isn't they?
is that?
Yeah, I think that you're meant to
But I know that everything was kept
Yeah,
In a
we
rack.
didn't put it
At
in the
room
fridge.
temperature.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
and
And
they
it's
kept.
last,
They
yeah.
kept well.
But then you do find that the vegetables at the farmer's market last longer.
Yes,
they
they
do.
do.
They
Yes,
taste
yes,
better.
yes.
and
They
they
taste
last
better.
longer.
They do.
do.
It's so true.